Hi guys, welcome back to another installment of Sci High. We're getting close. I think we're getting close to the end actually. So we last left off. We found the vinculum. Yeah, that this word, vinculum. We're gonna destroy it, and problems coming up. So let's do chapter 7 right now. Priorities. Because it is our priority right now. Okay, everyone, time to get started. Nate's voice carries easily over the murmur of laughter and gossip. With his actor's training, he can project to the back row of the auditorium when he needs to. Today's the first full meeting of the entire cast and crew of our town, so the stage is packed. Nate and Jessica are laying out their concept for the production, what the sets will look like, what the tone of the play will be, how they envision it all coming together. It's also a perfect opportunity for you to plant a few magic threads in the vinculum, which means you'll need to concentrate on that as well as on what Nate and Jessica are saying about the production. I'm fully awake now. I can't even fucking read. You set your phone out in front of you and settle down for the meeting. Nate goes first, and while he talks, you let your attention shift to the other task at hand, creating magic threads to send into the vinculum. It takes a few minutes for you to focus. You keep getting distracted by the sound of Nate's voice, but eventually you manage to open up your mind and start forming the threads. Buzz. Your phone vibrates with the text and your concentration evaporates. You groan and can't help glancing down. It's from Dad. You'll be home for dinner tonight, yes? Oh, Dad. He probably thinks he's all hit because he said tonight. With the fucking two. What is it with people? I don't understand it. Fucking type normally. Jesus Christ. A second later, he texts you, love you. As you glance up, you see Jessica's eyes on you. She's definitely noticed you're not paying attention tonight. Are you gonna text back? Are you gonna text Dad back? Not now, I'll test him back later. No, I don't care if he's angry. I'll turn off my phone. Dad won't be happy about your No, we're just gonna test him back later. As Jessica gives you a warning look, you push the phone away and go back to your concentrating on your magic. Just when you've managed to refocus your mind on your magic, your phone buzzes again. Another text. It's Haley with the latest count of model citizens who have joined the prom committee. Then one from Carl. By the end of the meeting, Jessica's glaring daggers at you. You barely heard a word of either Jessica or Nate's speech, and you haven't been able to concentrate on your magic either. When you haven't been getting tests, you've been thinking about the homework you haven't done and the cases you haven't been solving. Of course, you've been thinking about Carl. They're all happy thoughts because you love him, but how are you going to find time for the dates when you're barely managing to keep up with the rest of your life? You've got a lot of obligations and a lot of stress to go with them. How are you dealing with it? I'm not dealing fucking well, obviously. Which obligation are you choosing to prioritize? Which ones are you letting slide? Focusing on the plan for the vinculum, more important than anything else. I have to do everything. I just won't sleep as much. That's all. Focusing on school. I need to keep my grades up no matter what. Spend time with my parents. Not letting anything get in the way of my social time. What's more important than love? Focusing on romance. Uh, um, damn it. Um, let's do everything. I don't even sleep as much as it is. Indeed, you don't. You pulled a couple all-nighters in the last few weeks, staying up to finish every last scrap of homework after an hour of working on your plans for the vinculum, which came after a long hangout session at Bingham's, which came after a long rehearsal. You never liked Red Bull before, but now it's starting to taste kind of good. I don't like Red Bull. Red Bull's disgusting. As you trudge exhaustedly towards school the next morning, you see someone who's almost always makes you feel better, Tyler. He greets you with one of his usual gorgeous smile. Hi, Andy. Do you have a minute? I tried texting you, but we need an answer. I guess you're in rehearsal. You were in rehearsal. I keep skipping over words. It's easier. Oops, that must have been one of the texts you didn't answer. Whatever it was about, though, it must be something important. You can see a light. You can see the excitement lighting up Tyler's face. His excitement only grows as he explains. I've joined the Gold Crown team. It's going to be great. I was hoping you'd want to be in it too. All the best people are going to be in it, Tyler finishes, and I think you're one of the best. What do you think? I'll never agree to what Tyler's asking. Don't want anything to do with it. Don't want to be on the team. Go along with it so I can be with Tyler. Be a great way to get information. Um, yeah, let's fucking join it for information. Wow, thanks for asking, you say, smiling up at Tyler. I was already hoping I could join the Gold Crown team. It's a great opportunity. Tyler's gorgeous smile grows brighter. Oh, I'm so glad, he says. I knew you'd be perfect gold crown material. Go talk to Miss Clay after school. She'll get you set up, blah, blah, blah. You smile back. I'll do that. Talk to you later? Absolutely. Oh my god. How am I not tired of reading this? The morning passes in a haze of distraction. You try to answer some tests without letting the teacher see what you're doing, and you think you succeed. Third period comes as a profound relief. English with Miss Rivera. Did you see the posters? Tara's saying to Casey as they walk into class ahead of you. They announce the prompting, a night to remember. Casey answers with more than her usual excitement, and it's going to be on a boat. Wasn't A Night to Remember like one of the titles for the Titanic? Not the movie, but like a book for about the Titanic. I'm pretty sure I have that book. Oh my god. The prom. It's exciting, but it's just one more thing. You need to think about and plan for. Great. Still in an English class at least. You can feel secure. You know Miss Rivera will lead a great discussion and you'll spend 45 minutes immersed in interesting thoughts about literature. Except when you come into the room, you don't see any books out on people's desks, just pens and pencils. Oh fuck. That means there's an exam. An exam you totally forgot about. What are you gonna do? Well, you could try to wing it. You might be able to remember enough about the book to improvise your way through a test. If you don't, though, you'll probably fail. Or you could try to get answers from someone else, either by trying to read off their paper or by using magic. You can look at a paper clairvoyantly or try to read someone's thoughts. If you get caught doing any of those things, though, Miss Rivera will be seriously disappointed and you'll get sent to detention. Going to detention means you'll miss rehearsal for the play and Jessica will be even more mad at you. Um, Although, now that you think of it, if you realize if you do get sent to detention, you'll be able to see room 14 for yourself. Well, it would be super risky. You might get influenced by the vinculum. And if you don't, Mr. Velma will think you've cheated on an exam. You'll be in serious trouble. You're able to get direct evidence about what's going on. Oh my god, there's so much. Yeah, let's just fucking take that exam. I'm not gonna fucking cheat on it. You're not a cheater, and you hope you never will be. You'll rely on your own brain for this test, nothing more. To your surprise, once you start thinking about the answers, you realize you actually have a decent idea of what to say. Maybe you studied more than you thought you did. The paper you turn in at the end of the class isn't the best exam you've ever written, but you still feel pretty good about it. You can honestly hold your head high and smile at Miss Rivera as you hand it into her. After school, you go down to the basement to talk to Miss Clay. The room to 14 is slightly open and you can hear voices inside. Miss Clay is talking to Jake Cohen. You haven't spoken to Jake in a few weeks, not since you were trying to figure out why he broke up with Carl. Now you know the full story. Jake went to room 14 and got his mind taken over by the vinculum. You're not surprised that Jake is here to talk to Miss Clay, but you're definitely interested to hear what they have to say to each other. I got the Wadsworth Scholarship, Jake says. Did you? Why, Jake, that's wonderful. It sounds like Miss Clay is happy. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see Jake nodding. It happened just the way you said it would. In my application, I talked about being on the Treasury Committee and student government and how I was committed to making a better life for myself by going to business school. Just like we talked about in the Gold Crown team meeting. What'd your parents say? Jake replies, they're really excited. I'm going to try for a scholarship too, but even I don't get that. Oh, even if I don't get that, the Wadsworth scholarship will make it much easier to afford college. But I'm so excited too. Jake's word might be animated, but his voice barely changes. It stayed the same, even in the same. It stayed in the same, even tranquil tone throughout the whole conversation. I should go tell Mr. Pierce, shouldn't I? Oh yes, says Miss Clay. He'll be very happy for you. You're a real model citizen, Jake. For the first time you see Jake smile. How do you feel about what you just heard? Sounds like Miss Clay has done good things for Jake. Mr. Pierce is doing the right thing, and Miss Clay is right to support him. It doesn't matter how happy Jake is, he's being mind controlled. That's not fuck mind control. This isn't the Jake you knew in elementary. You're sure if that Jake knew what this one was doing, he'd hate it. What are you gonna do now next? I want to pretend to support Miss Clay so I can get more information. It's risky, but I think I can act well enough to for her. If at the vinculum while you're close, or get more information while I'm here. Uh, I guess we can support her. You clear your throat. Miss Clay, your voice sounds very loud in the quietness of the detention room. Yes, Andy? Your heart pounds faster. Here it goes. I've been thinking a lot this afternoon. I realized that I want to do better. I want to do well in school and get into a good college. You've watched Miss Clay carefully, but her expression doesn't give anything away. You can't tell if you're convincing her or not. You'll just have to keep talking and hope that works. Is there any way I can join the Gold Crown team? I've seen the good that it's done for Jake Cohen and Will Nichols. Miss Clay keeps that flat, steady gaze fixed on you. Really, is all she says. You nod. Really. The less you say, the better. You don't want to give her any more chances to figure out that you're lying. Miss Clay smiles and you know she believes you. I'm very glad to hear that, Andy. Oh, yeah. You smile back. Thank you. I really hoped you would be. I'll see you at the next meeting of the Gold Crown team, she says. This is going exactly as you planned. Goodbye, Miss Clay, you say, and you give her one more smile as you turn to go. That night you got a planned date with Carl, and he says it was your turn to choose what to do. What have you got planned? Dinner and a movie. Uh, expensive, but classic for a reason. Walking around downtown's not what Carl usually likes to do, but I want to see and be seen. Walk on the beach, or hanging out behind the school. Let's go for a walk on the beach. Maybe we can go to the tide pool. The beach is beautiful tonight. Bright, clear sky and a brisk wind blowing off the water that stirs up the waves and makes them crash hard against the sand. Far out in the distance, you can see a sailboat, but other than that, you and Carl are the only people in sight. You might as well be the only people in the world. The wind whips Carl's thick curls into chaos, but he doesn't seem to mind. He just laughs at the wind with eager abandon. He's a little inconvenienced when he tries to light a cigarette and the wind blows it out, but he can always relight it with the flick of his finger. After a few tries, when you see the frustration starting to rise on Carl's face, you pull him a little closer. Isn't there something more fun we could be doing? You murmur with an inviting grin. Carl's eyes spark with mischief, and he tosses his cigarette away. Damn right, we can have more fun. And so you do. As you start to head home, Carl turns to you and says, Hey babe, this has been good. Haven't seen you a lot lately. What's up with that? He's right, you haven't been spending a lot of time with him. What are you going to tell him about why that is? Um, you're right, I haven't been a very good boyfriend. I'll try to do better. I'm sorry, I've just been really busy. Kind of feel bad, but other things just keep happening. Um, well, that's because I've been dealing with more important. Oh, wow, wow, that's fucking. I mean, people are important too. We can try to do better, I guess. Okay, Carl seems a little skeptical, but he accepts what you said. I am, Carl falters, strangely uncertain, and lets down as he admits, I just miss you, is all. He's not used to talking about his emotions like that. He seems almost vulnerable. I'm sorry, you say, pulling him close. I love you. Carl's arms wrap tightly around you, and he presses in for a long kiss. When the date's over, you give Carl a goodbye kiss and head home. By the time you get home, it's after dark, and you hope you're not late for dinner. When you walk through the front door, you see both of your parents on the couch, watching the door with expectant looks on their faces. Uh-oh. I didn't get in trouble. I don't think I haven't done anything bad. Oh, thank God. Hi, you begin. We want to talk about planning a trip to look at colleges this summer, Dad says, grinning up at you. He loves planning trips. He can sit for hours with maps and guidebooks. He's been looking forward to your college tour for ages. I never went on a college tour. I went to community college because it was the only thing I could afford. The coffee table is covered with glossy brochures from dozens of colleges and universities, as well as from various scholarship programs. The one that jumps out at you is keen, is the one that jumps out at you is the one in Keensport Blue and Gold, advertising the Gold Crown team. There are plenty of schools right here in Massachusetts, Mom adds, but we can look a little farther if you want. We want to help you make the best possible future for yourself. That means you need to work hard and think seriously about scholarships. The familiar worried note is starting to creep into Dad's voice. It always does when he talks about money. It's her Mom's voice too, but when she says, "Have you seen this flyer about scholarships you can apply for if you're on the Gold Crown team?" The principal's special program. I ran into Deb Cohen at the grocery store on the way home from work. You know Jake's mother. She said that Jake's gotten two scholarships since he joined the Gold Crown team. I know you've been working on the Keen Sport scholarships, but there's only one Keen Sport scholar and a Keen Sport athlete award, and there are a lot more. There are a lot more scholarships available if you're on the Gold Crown team. What are you going to say to your parents? Do you know how worried they are about money? The more scholarships you get, the easier it will be on them. Being on the Gold Crown team means a fast track to a lot of scholarships, and technically you are on the Gold Crown team, but not for the reasons they think. Brainwashing students. It's the truth. Let's just tell them the truth. Well, not the actual truth that we're fucking psychic. uh, Relief floods your parents' faces. Oh, honey, Mom sighs. I know this will be a good thing for you. Now, let's look at those college brochures. I've got a week off in July, and we can take some campus tours then. For the rest of the evening, you and your parents talk about college plans. Which campus tours you want to take, which schools have the best programs, and which majors. Your parents seem happy with the way the conversation has gone. That's one fewer thing to worry about. Chapter 8. Another opening, another show. I always forget to read it. Um, on Friday, you arrive at school bright and early for a meeting on the go. Oh, sorry. You arrive at school bright and early for a meeting of the Gold Crown team. Meetings usually take place before first period. Mr. Pierce and Miss Clay think that waking up early is a sign of discipline and virtue. Fuck that. Um, I mean, after I'm finished recording this, I'll probably fucking fall asleep, go to bed at fucking 4 a.m. and wake up at like 9. You file into the cafeteria, the only room besides the auditorium large enough to hold the Gold Crown team, and take your seat among the others. You're working as hard as you can be to make it look like you sincerely want to be there. It's the best way to get information on what Mr. Pierce and Miss Clay are planning, but it's getting more and more difficult to act like you agree with what they're saying. Across the room, Tyler flashes you one of his gorgeous smiles, showing how happy he is to see you here. Mr. Pierce strides to the front of the room and clears his throat. Good morning, citizens, he begins. We have two items on the agenda today. First, the report from the prom committee. 6 months ago, Jake probably wasn't even planning to go to prom. You're sure he and Carl snickered at everyone who was obsessed with prom dates and limos and the perfect prom proposal. Now he's broken up with Carl and become the head of the prom committee. That also reminds you the junior prom's coming up. It's pretty exciting, it is, isn't it? I can't wait to go to prom. I'll almost certainly have a date, but prom really isn't my scene. I guess so, but I'm much more interested in focusing on the plan for the vinculum and the nexus. Um, I'm excited for all of it. But let's focus on destroying the vinculum first. Sure, the prom is big, but what you got planned for the vinculum and the nexus is much, much bigger. Jake walks up and takes the microphone. His posture is perfectly upright, his hair perfectly combed, his voice perfectly neutral. Perfect, perfect, perfect. At a meeting with the boat rental company, they have agreed to the navigational path that we wanted. I continue to be certain that this event will go exactly according to plan. Mr. Pierce gives a thin smile. Good, it must. You know why Mr. Pierce is so intent on the boat going to that going to a particular location in the bay. That's where the Nexus is. What you don't know is what he and Miss Clay are planning to do once they get there. Although, if the vinculum were brought close to the Nexus, that would probably make it very powerful. It could probably affect a lot more people. The entire junior class. Also, we have chosen a night to remember for the prom theme. Mr. Pierce lets much less interested in that piece of information, but nods again. Thank you, that'll be all. Jay doesn't seem to mind the abrupt dismissal, he just goes back to his seat. The second item is a matter of students who are not working up to their full potential. Those words send a chill through the room, even the model citizens tense a little. Westbrook, Mr. Pierce snaps. Colin practically jumps out of his seat. Yes, sir. You failed your last English test, says Mr. Pierce, his voice cold with disapproval. That is not the work of a Gold Crown team member. That is not the work of a model citizen. He turns his chilly gaze on the rest of the room. Those of you in the junior class, if you're struggling but show great potential, you may qualify for the Keensport Summer Scholars Program. Juniors who need to improve their grades will be allowed to take courses over the summer. That will raise their GPA just in time to apply to college in the fall. Westbrook, you have a bit more time to improve. Colin lets out a huge sigh of relief. Who knows what he feared would happen? Today you will report to detention room 14. Colin nods and sits back down. You know what going to room 14 means. Are you going to do anything about that? No, I don't want to call attention to myself. Yes, I don't want Colin to be brainwashed. I'll tell him about after the meeting that he shouldn't go to detention. I want to see what happens if he goes. Maybe Colin deserves what's coming to him, maybe he doesn't. All you know is you're not going to risk having Mr. Pierce's wrath come down on you by saying something to contradict him. You're nodding and smiling along with everyone else, but you don't mean it at all. You know you're going to have to be very careful if you wanted to make the Gold Crown team think you're really on their side. How are you going to make it through the rest of the meeting? Keep my mouth shut and nod. I'll make a big show of agreeing loudly with everything and take my cue from Jake and do everything he does. You go through the meeting with one eye on Jake and carefully watching his posture and expression. When he nods, you nod. When he leans forward to listen harder, you lean forward too. You manage to move in perfect unison with him the whole time. You're pretty sure Mr. Pierce doesn't suspect a thing. At exactly 7:45, Mr. Pierce says the meeting's now adjourned. You are dismissed. You start to gather up your belongings, trying to blend in with the rest of the Gold Crown team. It feels like everyone is watching you and measuring your every move, but nobody says anything. You manage to get out of the room without talking to anyone else. How much longer are you going to be able to keep this up? You're not sure. It won't be easy, but you're pretty sure it's worth it. Carl is waiting for you at the end of the day, lounging in his usual spot against the wall of the school. But instead of his crooked smile that he usually greets you with, he wears a serious expression and his voice is unhappily flat to match. Andy, we gotta talk. It's never a good time when your boyfriend says it to you, and I guess it's true in real life, maybe, if communication isn't key. What do you mean? I mean, what are you doing, Andy? With the Gold Crown team and scholarships and all that? Carl runs a hand through his hair, seeing the dark curls into even more chaos. You know people are getting brainwashed, and you know people are losing their powers too. Your surprise much is shown on your face because Carl nods and confirms. Yeah, you think Will didn't just decide he didn't want to use his powers anymore? No, he can't. Neither can Caitlin. That thing in the basement took him away. You want to be a part of that, taking away everything that makes you special, that makes us special? Well, do you? Of course not. I'm just pretending to be on their side so I can find out their plans. You know, I need to get into a good college. I need those scholarships to pay. I never wanted these powers. Um, no, I'm figuring out what their plans are. Smart Andy, Carl grins. If you're not with them, then I'm with you. You need my help, you got it. We're gonna stop these people from messing with our heads. Sunday afternoon has become your default time for working on your plans for the vinculum and the nexus. Today you're thinking about the nexus more than usual. Now you know the prom boat is going to be sailing near it. I've been doing some research on the timing of the plan, star charts, moonrise tables, that kind of thing. It's actually really interesting. Haley adds enthusiastically. You fucking nerd. Anyway, I think I know when we need to do it. Doing any kind of magic connected with the nexus will be more effective when the moon is full and it's most effective at moonrise. That means around 8 p.m. this Friday. In the middle of the play? But the thing is, it's not going to be subtle. Yeah, it really won't. That much magic, there'll be a huge backlash. He lets uneasy at the thought. Big flashing light, booming noise, maybe even a tremor. If you do that during the play, you're going to get noticed. It might even disrupt the play. So when on Friday night are you going to try to put your plan in action? Do you think the show will go on? I'll do it before the play, but I still want the play to happen. Do it before the play so the play won't happen. Do it during the play. Try not to disrupt the show. Do it during the play. I don't care about disrupting the show. Do it on the play after the play. Let's do it before. I mean, if we do it before, there's a chance we'll get um, something good can come out of it. I hope. You want to talk about this in front of Halen, Nate? In front of Haley, Nate is her twin brother, after all, and they hardly have any secrets. No, I won't talk about in front of Haley. Ask her to keep it a secret. She understands how important it is. We can ask her to keep it a secret. Haley, can you not tell Nate? He's already stressed as it is. I don't want to freak him out even more. Just as he expected, Haley frowned. I hate keeping secrets from him, she says quietly. I know, you reply. I wouldn't ask if it weren't really important. As Haley hesitates, you can see the wheels turning in her mind as she considers every possibility and balances every option. Finally, she sighs. All right, I don't like it, but I understand. Then the full dark intensity of her gaze turns on you as she adds, Don't hurt my brother. I'm not going to. I'll do it before the play, you say. Andrew nods. That made sense. I'm actually going to do this. You have to say it out loud again just to make it real. In less than a week, you're actually going to do this. Okay, no, I'm still on chapter 8. Yeah, I'm on chapter 8 still. Monday is the beginning of Tech Week, the last week before opening night. There are rehearsals and tech crew meetings every day, starting at the end of the school and ending when the run through of the play finishes or when Nate and Jessica are satisfied, whichever comes last. The group that gathers in the auditorium on Monday is smaller than it was when rehearsal started 2 months ago. As the number of model citizens has grown, the number of actors, artists, and costumers have shrunk. Every rehearsal and tech crew meeting begins with an uneasy roll call as Nate and Jessica see who's dropped out this time. Tonight, Nate is looking for Antonio. Has anyone seen him? Nate calls, shading his eyes against the stage light as he peers out over the auditorium seats. Antonio is playing George Gibbs, one of the leads. He's usually very punctual. If he's not here at the beginning of the rehearsal, something must really be wrong. Has he really dropped out less than a week before the show? Mike Desjardins speaks up from the back row. I heard he got into the Gold Crown team. What? Nate's voice spikes up, sharp anger and fear lifting out of its usual steady calm. Nate knows what that means. Everyone does. He's dropping out. How can he do that to me? What do you say? Well, Nate, I'm sorry. Mackenzie, not everything is about you. Mike, are you sure? I won't say anything. There's too much chaos as it is. Let's ask Mike if he's sure. I don't know who the fuck Mike is. Who's Mike? Did we mention Mike before? No, I don't think we have. Mike nods, positive. He's doing what now? What the? Nate bites off at the end. Nate bites the end of whatever he's going to say and runs a hair over his hair as he tries to pull himself together. Okay, I guess. I guess I'll play George until Antonio comes back and decides. But you all know Antonio's not coming back. For the rest of the rehearsal, everything is a little off. The rhythm of the line drags, the light crew misses the same cue 3 times. Nate's a great actor, and he knows all George's lines, but it's the first time he's actually ever played the part. Um, he has to keep his half. He has to keep half his attention on directing rather than acting. At least one thing has gone right, though. As you take a quiet moment to open your mind to the vinculum, you sense the network of magic as you've woven into it over the last few weeks. You're confident you have enough to make your plan work. Pretending to be on Miss Clay and Mr. Pierce's side has been risky, but it's given you a lot of freedom to spend around room 14 and the vinculum without anyone being suspicious about why you're there. By Friday night, the Kingsport High production of our town is as good as it's going to get. What you have to admit is better than you'd expected. Nate settled into the dual responsibility of acting and directing. Jessica has gotten the tech crew back to its usual smooth rhythm, and the actors are at the top of their game. Backstage, everything buzzes with energy. Actors are running their lines as they put on their makeup, while crew members tape down wires and organize props. Everyone is ready. Too bad the play's never gonna happen. I love that I'm undermining the whole entire fucking stuff. First, there was the pep rally with all those subtle ass references that they're gonna fail. That was amazing. That was my favorite part. Now we're undermining the play. Please tell me I get to undermine prom. I just want to be bad for one time. Um, okay. It's the easiest thing in the world to slip away in the chaos of the pre-show preparation. You sneak through empty corridors down to room 14 and focus your mind. You try to focus your mind on the network of threads you've been building up over the last 2 months. It's not easy to keep your grasp on them. If you let your concentration waver for even a second, they slip away and threaten to unravel. You find the strand of magic that winds through the center of the vinculum. This is the one that binds everything together. The center of the vinculum structure, the focus of its energy. Without this thread, nothing in the vinculum can hold. You pull it tight and it snaps. A huge shudder runs through the vinculum, sending bits of metal and magic flying in all directions. It isn't destroyed, but you can see it's definitely damaged. With a supreme effort, you manage to contain the chaos enough so it doesn't burst through the closet door. When the shaking stops, the energy in the room feels subtly different. A little lighter, a little more open. The vinculum is definitely weaker. You're not sure if it can ever be repaired. You struck a huge blow against Mr. Pierce and Miss Clay. Now all you have to do is save the prom. I destroyed the drama club play. Awesome. Achievement unlock curtains. That's cute. Um, when you return to the main floor, everything is in chaos. It's an earthquake, a student yells. It's a bomb, cries the parent. Get out, that's when someone pulls the fire alarm. The blare of sirens meets with the shriek of the fire alarm and the sobs of terrified people as hundreds of students, parents, and teachers stream out of the school. At the edge of the crowd, you spot the drama club. The actors still in full costume and makeup. The tech crew still in their backstage black. Nate rushes frantically around until he finds Haley in the crowd. Only then does he let out a breath he was holding as he wraps his sister in a tight hug. Jessica shouts instructions to the crew, trying to find some sort of order in all the chaos. Mackenzie's mascara streams down her face as she was. Why is this happening to me? Fuck you, Mackenzie. So how are you feeling right now? Awesome, exactly as I wanted. Terrible, I didn't want to scare everyone like this. Terrified, what if they figure out it was my fault? It's a little disappointing. Succeeding in my plan is much more important than anything else. I feel a little bit terrified and terrible about all of it. Mm, you duck into a corner, trying to look as confused and inconspicuous as possible. To your great relief, nobody gives you a second look. Who would have thought your greatest performance on opening night at the drama club play would be pretending not to be the person who blew up the drama club play? At any rate, you succeeded in your plan and stayed under the radar. Now it's time to say the prom. Through the crowd, you catch sight of Andrew, his height lifting his head above the crowd. He catches your gaze and his eyes ask a silent, worried question. You nod. Yes, you've done it, and it worked. Andrew's face floods with a relieved grin. Okay, I think I'm going to combine chapter 9 into this video. I think it's going to be so much easier. Because I think I recorded for maybe 30 minutes. Maybe. I have no idea. I have no way of checking, to be honest. Um. Alright, let's do chapter 9. Spring Fever. The air in the school feels a little lighter when you arrive on Monday morning. You didn't realize until it changed, but the victim's influence ran steadily throughout Kingsport High. Now it's weaker and less pervasive. Now that you know what you're looking for, you found a few places where you can hardly sense the vinculum at all. What about the people who were under the vinculum's influence, like Will and Jake? You're not sure what will happen to them. Maybe they'll return to the way they were before they were changed by the vinculum. You hope so. What you do know for certain is Mr. Pierce and Miss Clay aren't happy. Mr. Pierce stalks through the hall. Sorry, I got um. Mr. Pierce stalks through the hall with with an even angrier look on his face than usual, and you overhear him shouting at a frightened-looking Frosh. I'd send you to detention if I thought it would do any good. He turns away and storms down the hall, pausing only when he passes a poster that reads Junior Prom, a night to remember. He gives it a thin smile and moves on. You scored a big victory, but your work isn't done yet. How are you acting, now that your big plan's done? Are you doing anything different? Trying to act like nothing's different, holding my head a little higher and walking a little more confidently. Done something huge, I'm going to make sure everyone knows it. No. I'm trying to escape notice as much as possible. I want to sink into the floor. Act like nothing's different. The less people that know about what you've done, the easier it'll be to carry out the rest of your plans. The closer you get to prom, the more planning you need to do. In addition to your usual Sunday meetings, your little group is getting together Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, pretty much every day. So what do we know? Haley begins as she begins almost every meeting. The prom boat is going to go over the nets, as you say, and Mr. Pierce is going to use it to turn everyone into model citizens. Andrew shudders. Okay, that's creepy, but it makes sense. Father juniors are model citizens, and we'll all get better grades and better scores in our SATs. That means we'll be more likely to get into college. The seniors are already taking their SATs and applied to college, so I guess he thinks it's too late for them. But now that we know, what do we do about it? Since he damaged the vinculum, it'll be harder for Mr. Pierce and Miss Clay to turn people into model citizens. But being so close to the Nexus and all its power, they might still be able to have some effect. That's why I'm on the Gold Crown team. I can find out. As the junior prom approaches, meetings of the Gold Crown team focus more and more on what will happen there. Some people think focusing so much on the dance is a sign of frivolity. I know it's frivolous, but the junior prom is a rite of passage. It's something that I expected of every high school. I didn't go. I didn't. We didn't have a junior prom. We went to one prom, high school senior prom. That's it. Pierce is asking members of the Gold Crown team to be extra helpful during the junior prom. At today's meeting, he informs everyone there will be an intermission in the prom activities at midnight. You'll need to be very attentive so you can assist him in his plan. The theme color is silver, Jake informs everyone. As the head of prom committee, everyone should wear something silver. Real silver jewelry is ideal. It aids in focus. He glances over at Mr. Pierce for confirmation on that last point, and he nods. There may be some people who don't have enough school spirit to go along with this plan. We should do everything we can to change their mind and keep them from disrupting the special night. Pierce's eyes turn cold with anger as he adds, There have already been too many disruptions in the school. You know he means what happened to the vinculum. We will have order. On the outside you're nodding in agreement, but on the inside you're practically cheering. This is exactly what you wanted to know. Mr. Pierce is going to draw on the Nazis at midnight, and he'll need silver to hope and focus. All your efforts are paying off. Um, Now you know the whole plan. The prom boat is going to sail towards the Nazis. At midnight, Mr. Pierce will draw on the magic from the nets to turn the whole junior class into model citizens. He'll need to maintain complete concentration, and he'll need to have a magical focus made of silver. What's your plan? You'll have to prevent Mr. Pierce from drawing on the nets. Make sure the boat never gets to the nets. Draw on the nets myself, so there's no magic left. I have allies. I have plenty of allies right now. Um, that will happen at midnight. So when the time comes, you'll be ready. There's only one part of your plan you need to take into account: the fact that silver will help Mr. Pierce concentrate. How are you going to encourage people not to wear not to wear silver? Use reverse psychology. Convince them it's horribly uncool. I'll be honest about why they're supposed to do it. It has to do with magic. Let's use reverse psychology. Honestly, you're not known for your attention to the latest trends, but for once, you can use that to your advantage. Since you want people to not wear silver, if you pretend you want to do the opposite, everyone will think it's super trendy to not wear silver. Um, you're wearing silver to the prom, right? Yes, Casey at lunch, carefully pitching your voice so others around you can hear. I was going to. Now that you mention it, though, she doesn't look so sure. Oh, everyone should, you say enthusiastically. It's super cool. You put all your effort, but nobody besides Casey seems to be paying attention to you. Oh well, at least your reverse psychology trait seems to have worked. Um, Now that you decide what you're going to do at the prom, you're going to need people to help you with your plan. You know exactly where to start. Carl, just say the word Andy, I'm there. I've wanted to take down Pierce from the minute he walked into the school. I'll get the rest of my people on your side too, meaning the rest of the drug dealers and gang members. That should make prom more interesting at least. I love it. I love this game. I'm gonna keep on playing it nonstop. You think about your allies you already have. You can always have more. Who else will you try to recruit to help you? Casey. Oh, I can't fucking get help. Tara Brown or I got auto help. Let's go for Tara Brown. You find Tara in the library where she's working hard on her paper for Miss Rivera. But remind you, you should be working on that too. But first things first. Hi, Tara, you say quietly. Can I ask you a favor? There's something I wanted to do at prom, and I was hoping you could help me. Maybe you could get the rest of the Honor Society on board too. Tara frowns and shakes her head. I don't know, Andy. I don't want to get involved in anything that could cause trouble. Oh well, looks like you got a reputation for causing trouble. It also looks like you'll have to find help other than the National Honor Society. Who else will you try to recruit to help you? Nobody apparently, because I ain't got anybody. Um, Now that you're done with the rest of the plans for prom, it's time for the most important part of your planning. Getting a date. I have a boyfriend apparently. Mm, you and Carl have already talked about the prom, of course. But it's getting to that time of year when everyone is making formal invitations. Do you want to do something to officially ask Carl to the prom? Yes, I'll do something offbeat that will fit Carl's personality. Do something romantic or no? Let's do something offbeat. That sounds really fun. Achievement. Promposal. Made a romantic promposal. You rack your brains for something unconventional, fun, and interesting that Carl would like, and come up with nothing. Maybe you could write a poem for him. You could try writing a poem of your own, but nothing really speaks up to you. Maybe if you have another week to polish your words, you'll be able to come up with the perfect verse, but you don't have another week. What you do, what you do have is your copy of Romeo and Juliet from English class, with its appendix, Shakespeare's sonnets. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? You begin copying out. Um, wasn't Shakespeare hitting on a guy? I think I was reading something about that while watching a video about that. Shakespeare was comparing it to like a young guy he was messing around with. Um, you present the paper to Carl later that day, and his eyes widen when he sees it. Poetry? Seriously? Then Carl smiles and puts his arm around you. Babe, you know you don't need to do all that fancy stuff to make me like you better, right? I'm going to the prom because you want to and because I love you. That's all. Maybe that's all you both need. You're not sure what's going to happen at prom, but you're sure you and Carl will be there for each other. Okay, I'm going to end this episode right here. I think I'm going to finish the rest of the game in the next video. I'll see you all next time. Bye. And by next time, I mean maybe 5 minutes from now after I finish recording this. But other than that, bye.